What is up, everybody? It is your host, Deeper Depths of the Deeper Level Podcast. Listen, do me a huge favor if you're watching this right now live so that we can make the algorithm go crazy on both Twitter and YouTube as well. And if you're tuning in on Twitch, make sure that you like this content and that you share it. And also hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I go live and I upload more information and content is available on this channel. We're super excited about what we're going to be covering today. We have a really great show lined up for you all. We want to bring awareness to what esports is. I have two dynamic coaches that are going to be joining us today. But just before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to FK Flavius King, as I was a guest on his podcast on last night, the Gotham Ghost podcast. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity to have a chance to talk with them about that upcoming game that's going to be dropping October the 21st. Also, stay tuned because I have some very special announcements that I'm going to be announcing really soon here on the Deeper Level Podcast. So make sure that you stay tuned. Hit all of my socials, which you can see them in the top on my overlay. So join us on Twitter, join us on Twitch, join us on YouTube. So make sure that you stay connected because we have a lot of information that we are going to be sharing very soon. So I see people coming into the chat. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see y'all on. Good to see you, Sleeper Kid. You know what? Actually, I want to give a special honor to Sleeper Kid because he is the person who helped me to start streaming. I didn't understand any of this technical stuff. It was all over my head. I just had a passion and a dream that I wanted to do it. And so here I am at 40 years old, y'all, starting a new venture in my life. Of course, I've been playing video games my entire life that I can remember. I think I was probably 4 years old when we first got our first 8-bit Nintendo system. This was back in 1985, somewhere around there. So the first time that I touched a joystick, I fell in love and I knew that this was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But as it relates to esports, that's the thing that's really cool because there are actually opportunities out there for young and upcoming gamers. So we're going to be getting into all of that and talking about that in just a bit as I'm getting ready to welcome my special guest in just a few moments. But again, thank you so much, Sleeper Kid, for taking the time to show me how to stream, show me how to get everything set up in OBS and understand what all of this software stuff means. Hello, Ebony Latoya. I see you in the chat. Good to see you. So if you are tuned in right now, wherever you're streaming from or tuned in from, let us know in the chat. Say hello. Appreciate you so much. Yes, the younger generation is up and coming. They are on the way. So we're excited about that. So want to get ready to welcome my first guest today. He is the head esports coach for the Arkansas High School Razorbacks. Now, I'm actually alumni for the Razorbacks, graduated 2000. So I'm grateful just to know that there is a program that is there for the high school and that is teaching esports. So I want to welcome at this time Mr. Austin Powers. How are you, sir? Glad to have you. Awesome. And then, yes, I can hear you.
Gotcha.
Awesome. So, Coach Powers, we're getting ready in just a second to welcome Mr. Allen. He's going to be coming on in just a second. But if you would just take a moment while we're waiting on him, Coach Powers, and just introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about your program.
All right. So I'm Coach Powers. As you've stated, I'm the coach at Arkansas High. I started last year. I remember seeing about a year ago, like during my first year of teaching, I saw, I think it was like CNN 10 that had a whole coverage on esports growing in high schools. And I was like, man, that's really cool. I'd love to do that. And then before I know it, I see I run across a website called Play Yes. And that's where I started. I just went on that website and started from there. And so once we got started, it was tough getting funding for it because, I feel like we're like in the early days of how sports was whenever it was first introduced to schools. Like, why are we going to pay for, or why are we going to send kids to go to school to play sports? Um, and so it's tough getting funding for it. But once I started getting funding for it and got everything approved by the second semester, the end of it, we ended up getting number 2 in the state of Arkansas.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Number 2 in the state of Arkansas. We're actually going to visit and touch on that in just a minute. My second guest is here with us and just tuned in. Let's welcome Coach Rick Allen, and he is with TISD, the Texas side of things, as the head esports coach. Welcome to the Deeper Level, Coach Allen. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your program, sir.
Hey, glad to be here. Glad to be here. Nice to see you again, Coach Powers. So we started the esports program at Texas High last year. I came from another school. I was at Liberty Allo and did esports there for several years. We had League of Legends and a few other games there. But when we came to Texas High, it was a pretty big deal. A lot of the administration were insanely supportive, and we were able to get off to a pretty good start last year. We had 12 gaming computers. We played Valorant. We played Rocket League. Valorant team, top 10 in Texas, and ended up like 70 out of 1,000 teams, coast to coast. So they're going to be pretty competitive this year. We added Apex Legends this year and a gaming concepts class this year. So we get to teach a little bit about video games during the day and compete in the afternoon. And it's been,
so that's official. That actually happened.
Yes. We saw the potential, and as soon as we put the class out, it was just gangbusters. A lot of students signed up for it, and we ended up like this. Last year we had about 40 competitors. This year that's doubled, and then with the class we have over 100 students participating in some form esports at Texas High.
Wow, that is incredible. I want to say congratulations to both of you, Coach Powers and Coach Allen. Honestly, once I found out what esports was and that it was a thing, I thought to myself, coaches, you guys have like the coolest job in the world. I mean, this is stuff that we dreamed about and wished for, when we were coming up and, going throughout grade school and, stuff like that, which these opportunities that are available now didn't even exist back then. But before we get too far into esports and the conversations about esports, if you could just take a moment, Coach Allen, and tell us what esports is. I don't want to assume that everyone is watching understands what that term is and what that means. What is esports?
Yes, absolutely. So competitive video gaming, it's a way for students to do what they would usually consider a hobby at school, compete against other schools, be just available for college recruiting. They have scholarships they can get by competing in these games. The market after high school, it's $1 billion business. So we just don't have people playing the games. We've got folks behind the scenes doing just like we're doing now, podcasting. We have students who are engineers who will help me make sure all the actual technical stuff is working, and they'll learn that part of the program. So it's not just the competition. That's what is the most fun to watch and all that good stuff. There's a lot of STEM stuff behind the scenes that goes along with esports, and it's drawing students from all across the campus. It's pretty amazing.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, that is incredible. Esports has taken off. It's on fire. It's starting to become a household name. Myself and my wife, we actually went to, out of town on vacation. And while we were there, the hotel we were staying at, there was actually an esports competition being hosted at the hotel. I wish I had known earlier, because I actually would have tried to get in the event just to see it, just to watch it and probably do some interviews. But, we saw referees walking around, coaches walking around, the players, engineers. Like you said, it's a lot that goes into this. Coach Powers, if I could ask you this question, sir, are there certain games that qualify as esports? I mean, like, is all video games esports, or just certain games that qualify for that genre?
So So pretty much any fighter or racing game or first person shooter, basically anywhere you have a team or like a winner and loser, and that you can play multiplayer. For instance, like Fallout Skyrim. I mean, you can't exactly have an esport for that yet because it's a single player game. And like Coach Allen was saying, I mean, there's Valorant, there's League of Legends. The one specifically that I do at the moment. Last year I started out with Rocket League and Smash Brothers, and then this year I'm adding Mario Kart to it.
Wow, Mario Kart. Okay, yeah. Now you're talking my language. That's my generation of gaming right there. So, Coach Allen, now that we know what kind of games qualify for esports and actually what esports is, a question I have for you is: are all esports games console or PC exclusive? Like, can you compete on consoles, or is it pretty much just a PC thing? How does that work?
Well, there's two different schools, I guess. There is your console gamers and your console competitors and your PC competitors. A lot of the PC stuff can be cross-compatible with your console gamers. That's why we kind of went PC first, and we're able to do a couple of things where a lot of students don't have PCs at the house. They have an Xbox. Well, they can play Rocket League at the house, and they can play Rocket League on the PC at school. Things like Smash and Mario Kart, which I really want to get into soon. It's just a little bit different. You got to have the switches, and you got to have the other equipment, and we're running up to it. We're running up to it, but there are barriers, but most of it is just cross compatible, pretty easy to do.
Okay. Awesome. Coach Powers, how often do the students compete online? So I know, like Monday through Friday, you're teaching the curriculum and you're working with the students in the school, but how often do they compete?
Every week. So right now our schedule is on Wednesdays they do Super Smash Brothers, and then on Thursdays they do Rocket League and Mario Kart.
Okay, gotcha. On Wednesdays.
Awesome.
Now, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Okay, cool deal. Now let me ask you this. This is a question for you, Coach Allen, and you can kind of piggyback off this too, Coach Powers. Are these online matches available to the public? Like, are we able to tune in and actually see them, or is it something that's just kind of held privately behind the scenes?
Well, absolutely. That's one of the things we want to do is get our stuff out for everybody to see, just like going to a football game or a basketball game. We have Apex Legends Monday night, and that's a new one for us. We know we can cast it. We haven't figured out how to yet. It's pretty interesting. Valorant, we definitely cast. I've got a couple of casters that cast it every single time on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then Thursdays, we also do Rocket League, and I have casters for that too. So you just got to go to our YouTube channel, Texarkana ISD Esports, and we have live streams every week, and it's pretty neat seeing. I've got Howard Cosell, and Madden up there talking to each other. They're pretty good. I've got some pretty good casters. That's one of the things I'm most proud of is those guys.
Awesome. That's incredible. Coach Powers, how about yourself? Are your matches available for the public to view?
Not 100% right now. We did have a couple that were Twitch streamed by other schools. I'm working on that. Like that's what I meant to do this year is get with our TV department, and so they can put on their YouTube channel. And I'm working on that to get it to where everybody can watch it. And but yeah, I did post and I did put up a couple of the games that we did. The very last one that we did, and there was like one before that I still have a recording of.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm working on getting it live.
Gotcha. Now check it out, Chad. I'm actually posting right now some of the socials and ways that you can connect both with the Texas high side of things and the Arkansas high side of things as well. These were links that I were given by them. So make sure that you go and support, connect to both the Twitter and the YouTube as well. Coach Powers, another question for you. What opportunities in life are available for students who pursue a career in esports? Because this is like, a really big deal. Like Coach Allen was saying earlier, this is literally like a $1 billion industry. And I didn't
Yes.
understand it until I started streaming myself, just the opportunities that are available to streamers. So, if a person, because I mean, back in the day, like I said, growing up, if we had told our parents, hey, I'm going to play video games for a living, I mean, it's no telling what would have happened to us, but this is
Lots of
actually a
quarters.
thing now. What type of opportunities are available out there?
Well, one, what you're doing, and then two, the professional gamers, the streamers, like Ninja, and I'm trying to think of PewDiePie and all of them. So there you have your performers, in other words, and then there's the behind the scenes. You got the programming, the audio, the design, the marketing aspect of it, the promotion. You got the broadcasters, the ones that just create and make those events, like the convention that you ran into, or the whatever event that it was you ran into, and then the talent. So there's many aspects to it, because I was looking it up last night and I was like, yeah, there's more than I even realized or thought about.
One of the things that I've seen coming around is private coaching. Some of these students who are really good at these games might not be good enough to be professional, but they can rent out their hours to people who aren't as good at these games and make $100, a couple $100 a weekend, even more sometimes if they get involved with a big organization. There's just so many things that we haven't even thought of that with this growing industry is going to just keep on popping up, and how you can make money off of this stuff.
Yeah. Wow. And that is true. And that's unique even with private coaching. I saw a thread not too long ago. This was a few months ago, earlier in the year, where Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, is actually looking to put a sizable amount of money behind, finding the next Ninja or the next biggest, streamer, or whatever the case may be. So, like you said, there's so many different ways that people are figuring out on how to monetize this. So, it's definitely not one of those things to be taken lightly. Esports is like a really big deal, and it's here to stay. I saw a reaction video that you sent me earlier, Mr. Allen, on, A&M adding esports to their curriculum. And I mean, the reception of it, I mean, the campus just went wild. That's crazy, man.
I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because we all these colleges, most of them have esports clubs, and a few of them do have a real deal legit program, and they're mostly D2, little smaller schools. But to see somebody like Texas A&M, College Station, to say we're going to do it, it's going to be that's next step. That's what we've been waiting for. Stuff like that happen.
Wow, awesome. So now let me ask you this, Coach Allen, is recruiting players involved, or do they just personally have to sign up to get involved?
And that's where it's, one of the beautiful things about esports. I for my teams, I definitely have tryouts. I definitely want the top notch level players, people who can do teamwork. If you're ranked, got to have those guys, because you can't be competitive if you don't. But then again, there's another aspect of the student body that just wants to find their group of people, and somebody that they can have, lunch with, or have something in common with, and have a reason to root for the Texas Tigers. The type of student that goes straight home after work and jumps on the game. Those are recreational leagues. And I have a few programs to where you might not be good at the game, but you like playing. It's a social aspect. So for sure there's that. But also, I mean, it's a little bit of both. You gotta be competitive, but you also can't pass up an opportunity to bring more students into the fold.
Awesome. How about yourself, Coach Powers? Do you do much recruiting, or to kind of narrow down your process of who's actually selected, or is it just sign up based?
Yes, I kind of spend the first semester, like right now, it's kind of trial and error. Last, I feel like the reason we did end up going and to state and becoming in the top 2 was literally that first semester, because we didn't have it purchased. We just did tryouts. We figured out, narrowed down our teams, found out who was our top really 6, and and now and they were seniors. Majority of them were seniors. So right now it's almost like starting, from zero, just kind of figuring out. We got some ones showing up that were here last year that are kind of taking the place of, and they're building their skills. And but yeah, we do have a tryout process of sorts.
Man, I got to commend you on that. I did that last year, didn't compete the first semester and competed the second semester, and it was great. And this year I was like, I'm going to compete both semesters.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I think just having an off season and having time to train and try out is very valuable. And I'll learn my lesson. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, because this year I'm struggling. We're struggling because not just finding those students. It's kind of, we had to start our clubs a little bit later because they didn't let us start our clubs until a little later. So it was the week before game day, before we actually had a game against somebody. Yeah. And so I just had, like, this past week, I had to just, whoever we were able to get signed up and set up in the Play VS and play from there.
Awesome. Got it. And I get that, because I think that's a really, really great approach to do it that way, because, the first semester you kind of see what you're working with, and then, you have an opportunity also to develop that talent. And, I have no issues, especially with something being as competitive as it is, to want to select your better candidates. And, like you said, Mr. Allen, just from the social and community aspect of it, still having that group that's available to them so that it doesn't alienate them from the opportunity to actually be involved and have that sense of, fellowship and community with their peers. So I think that's really, really good and a unique approach on both Arkansas High side of things and Texas High. So really appreciate that response. I'm hearing, though, Coach Powers, that Arkansas so far has embraced esports more so than Texas, because now anybody who knows anything about our twin city where we live, we're normally getting one-upped by Texas on everything, but so Arkansas has kind of embraced esports more than Texas.
I don't know. It depends, because hey, he's got a class. That's what I'm working towards, and hopefully, we'll get there. He's in a way, and to me, and at least from my viewpoint, he's up there.
What I see in Arkansas is that y'all state organizations are actually saying, yeah, it's a thing, and supporting it in places. Here, we're in limbo, and we've got places like Texas High where the administration sees it's valuable and they're going to support it 100%. But then there's other schools where, well, it's not UL sanctioned and it's not anything. It's just a club. It's just a thing to play. And it's like, we're almost there. And if we just can get that legislative body to say esports is cool, we'll be jumping to the next level. But I've just talking to you and other Arkansas coaches, there's a lot of things where it's just so much nicer to have the people way, way up high, support, and at least.
Yes, because that was the beauty of it, is because that trophy we got, it's a AAA trophy. It's the exact same trophy you would get for basketball, anything else, football.
Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. Are there any type of outside sponsorships that are allowed if we as a community want to support your program, or is it strictly internal through the school system? Is there a way that we could get involved and actually support what you're doing?
I saw that question. I hope so. That's what I want to try to work towards. I'll have to try to see if we can set up something. But for now, right now, the way I've been able to do it, get all the equipment, get all the chairs and whatnot, is through strictly the school at the moment. But hopefully in the future we'll have things like I'll see if we can maybe do a fundraiser like the football team has, where they sell cards, discount cards to places around town and get sponsorships. That's the future. That's whenever they see it as it being high enough and important enough, then I think there will be eventually, at least for me. Is there any for you, Coach Allen?
Coach Allen, do you is there a way to support your particular program from the community, or is everything internal? Or I think we actually may have lost him. He may have had some
Oh,
technical
I was like, I bet he didn't
difficulty.
hear me. Oh, well.
Right. Yeah, he'll come back on in just a second. While we are waiting for him, I want to ask you this, Coach Powers. What do you feel was your most successful moment as an esports coach?
So it depends. I mean, there's so many, different things. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I started this. I mean, the big things I'd say is getting, us actually being able to achieve getting a trophy. And then also I had a student that is actually right now at SAU. He's playing professionally, got a scholarship for it. So the fact that I was able, to kind of set up a program where students could have an alternate route of getting a scholarship. So those are the big things. The little things I'd say are just like, having conversation with parents and then telling me, that their child is very antisocial, and that, they, like we were saying before, they have those groups, they have that place to go to and find and make friends of like-minded people. And I'm trying to think of another. So that one, and then I had another teacher tell me that, that one, and one of the main things that I said was that they started showing the school more. So their attendance rates went up. So I had a teacher come to me and say, hey, this student before your club, they were very rarely showing. And then now their attendance rates are up. They're showing up because they want to make sure they're at least here for esports.
Wow. And so esports was the difference maker in, planting that seed to get that, child to open up and, be more social. And I think that's cool because, I was that person actually in school. I was that person that was an introvert, went straight home after school and got on the video game. I didn't play football or anything like that. Wasn't really into the sports side of things. Now I played baseball and, was actually pretty good, competitive in baseball, but my true passion was gaming. So it's just good to know that outlet is offered. Coach Allen, something that I was asking earlier is, are there any type of outside sponsorships that are allowed for us as a community if we wanted to support your program, or is it mostly just internal?
Right now, we've been supported very well internally, but yes, absolutely. There are certain things you have to have donations for. You have to spend that money certain ways. So contact us at Esports at TXKISD. We are working on several different levels of sponsorship. Like I was talking about my casters earlier, like put together a little commercial for your business or a banner on our website, something like that. But yeah, we've tried to do some other sponsorships with some big companies, and they were very interested. It's just sometimes it's difficult to get the paperwork to work in the educational space, but local, absolutely, we want to be part of the local community as much as we can.
Awesome. Incredible. Now, I want to say, please, whenever either of you, Coach Powers, your program, or your program, Coach Allen, whenever you're ready, let me know. Please hit me up first, because I'm very passionate about what you all do and, would love to get involved from that side of it on some sponsorship. So definitely don't hesitate to call. What do you feel like, Mr. Allen, is your most successful moment in esports coaching? And I think we may have lost him again. Yep. Hey, trust me. Listen, as a streamer, you all, I get this. If nobody else gets this, I get this. And I know Sleeper Kid gets this because, my actual first episode that I did of this podcast, Coach Powers, I actually started the podcast on mute, so I'm talking for like 5 minutes and I'm talking good too, man. I'm laying it all out there. And everybody in the chat was like, hey, you're muted. So trust me, I get it. It happens. Okay, keeping it moving. Coach Powers, what is your personal favorite go-to game to play as a gamer? Because I imagine as a
This
coach,
is the hardest question. Like, this is the
okay.
hardest question because I don't know. Like, are we talking right now? Are we talking all together? Like, what?
Oh,
Just in general, like of all time? What? Or
well,
just right now?
let's go with right now, and then
Okay.
let's go with of all time, because I understand
Uh,
that response.
Yeah, because like it's like my go-to game. There's so many. So like right now, I mean, I think it would just be Call of Duty, and actually the new Battlefield got a lot of hate, but it's
Yeah.
actually pretty good on the new console. You know, if you
Yeah.
have the opportunity and the ability to get that, it works fine on the new console to me at least. And yeah, definitely new Call of Duty. I'm excited for. I played a lot of the first Modern Warfare.
Okay.
So yeah, well, that's what I play, at least as far as like competitively and with my friend, and kind of like where I if I'm gonna have a place that I actually pay attention to my stats and my score and like any kind of competing would be maybe Call of Duty. But yeah, just kind of go-to game of all time would be Fallout 3 specifically. So yeah, Fallout 3, that's another one I go to. And then I'm trying to think of another one. I guess Uncharted. I don't know. There's so many, but those like my Fallout 3, I go back to every 5 years. I beat it every which way, and so that's as far as single player goes. As far as multiplayer goes, probably just the Call of Duties and
Gotcha.
and Battlefield.
I actually did enjoy the Modern Warfare 2 beta as well. I played it both weeks. I'm on the PlayStation side of things, so I hit level 30 and earned the beta reward. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm actually good with that. A lot of people didn't like it, but me personally, I didn't see any issue with it. I also played Battlefield 2042. Been playing that since release. Now, I will say, coming from Battlefield on Call of Duty, where aim assist actually works, because on Battlefield, it's more technical. I mean, you've got to really know how to aim on Battlefield because you get no assistance whatsoever. So Call of Duty was a little easier as far as the aiming mechanics. So I can't actually tell the difference between the two. Coach Allen, what would you say? Hey, man, listen, let me tell you one thing I was saying before you came back on, brother, is trust me, in this side of things, technical difficulties, I get it, man. I started the first episode of this podcast on mute. I was on mute for like 5 minutes. People in the chat was like, hey, you're on mute. So trust me, man, I get it. Especially as a streamer, I deal with this kind of stuff all the time.
It's just some internet hiccups. It'll be all right.
Absolutely. What would you say your go-to game is, Mr. Allen? Like what, as a gamer?
You asked me before the last cut off my best coaching moment.
Yes.
Let's go back to that real quick.
Absolutely.
Personal relationships, building these relationships with these students, and knowing after last year, my Valorant team came together. You can see them come together as a team. We graduated a couple of seniors, and a couple of these freshmen and sophomores stepped up. And just the other day, we had some technical difficulties. We had to do something really, really fast, and it was really cool to see them all work as a team and overcome technical difficulties really quick, and hear from these parents and how I heard Coach Powers talking about showing up to school. There's I've got to get this turned in so I can play, and just those coaching moments are great. Talking about favorite video games. So for sure, I was a Battlefield guy. I've been playing since 1942. And in the late 90s, won a few tournaments with Battlefield 2 and a game called Rainbow Six Raven Shield.
Yes.
So that was my thing back in the day. Nowadays, I play Valorant and Apex pretty regularly, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, hardcore search and destroy exclusively. Won't play anything else.
Awesome, man. Well, I tell you, as it relates to Call of Duty, I'm hearing that from both of you as well as Battlefield. My gamer tag is Deeper Depths. I'm just saying. So, anytime, fellas, we can definitely run as a squad or just whatever. So that's an open invitation. So what would you say, Coach Allen, regarding collab and support? What would you say as it relates to
Well,
collab and support?
Coach Powers and I, we've seen each other a few times, collabed on a few things, talked about things, always
Yep.
encouraging each other. I think that's really important in this community. When I first started out, it was just nothing, nobody. And I found this group of coaches. It's called coachrivals.gg. It's about 400 coaches, and we're adding people all the time. They cater to new coaches, and it's better than any other teaching tool I've ever had in my life. I could get on Discord, ask them a question, and somebody knows something. Somebody has had to, make Rocket League work behind a network, or somebody understands the rules of this game better, and just encouraging a lot of these young esports coaches. Another thing they do is provide funding. If you're a brand new esports program, or even someone that's just trying to get funding, they find ways to get you some equipment or some money or discounts and sponsors. So a lot of esports coaches come to this cold, and it's good to know that there's people out here. We want to help you. Now, when game day, we're gonna beat you up, but in general, we're gonna help you.
Awesome. Now I'll say this too, and it's really, the feeling is mutual. I can tell you personally from Coach Powers, just as much as it is your view as it relates to collab and support. Because before I actually had your contact information, Mr. Allen, I reached out to Coach Powers because my wife recently signed on with Arkansas High School as a teacher as well. And so the first question I asked her once she became a part of the school was, hey, who is your esports coach? And so she got me Coach Powers information. And so, of course, I reached out to him first to talk to him about coming on the podcast. And before he even responded yes or no, his next statement was, hey, also you might want to reach out to Coach Allen and get his perspective as well. So seriously, he name dropped you, and then that's what caused me to call Texas High and actually get your information. And so thank you both for responding. You just don't find that type of camaraderie and relationships in this generation. And I think there's a lot to be said for that as it relates to how you both collab. And then I actually talked to another individual that is behind HypeCon, who, also had very positive things to say about you both. He'll actually be coming on as a guest, Tillis, as a guest here pretty soon.
Yes, he's a good guy.
So I really appreciate that about you, Coach Powers and Coach Allen, just to know that you've got each other's back. And there's that real relationship even outside of gaming, because honestly, gaming has provided a stage and a platform for me to meet some of the coolest people that have become friends right now. So that's the power of community, and that's what this is capable of.
And there's coaches popping up all over Texarkana. Mod just started one. Coach Braden Brown down there's working with the Apex team, and there's like Gladewater that they've got a nice little team going on. So it's spreading around Northeast Texas, and I like to see it grow. I'm here to help them.
Awesome. Coach Powers, I want to ask you this: how do tournaments work? Your tournaments in general. I know about the streaming, but how often are they involved in tournaments, or is it that every time that they're competing or playing, it is a tournament?
So if they win enough in the main season, and then we get into the tournament, like technically both we had two Smash teams. Technically, both of them made it in the tournament bracket, but you got to keep, like, when you get in that tournament, bracket, and it's the finals. In the finals, that's what they're called. Yeah. What am I thinking? When they get in the finals, then if they lose a game, they're out, and we're out. And so we beat everybody out in this whole state of Arkansas, and until we got to one last team.
Wow, man, that's awesome, and that just speaks volumes for the talent that is around you guys, and the talent that is being developed. And, these are moments and memories that you both are creating that these students will never forget, just to have this opportunity and this platform. And, like I said, I know it has its challenges. I know any career or field in life has its, cons, it has its pros. But, just for me, looking in the window at you guys, to me, I appreciate what you do. And like I said, you have one of the coolest jobs in the world. So, kudos to you both. Just kind of wanted to encourage you to keep going. And, like I said, whenever you get to a point to where there's something we can do as the community to support what you gentlemen have going on. And of course, I'm connected to your socials now. So of course, I'm always going to be sharing and, highlighting it because, not only are, I'm interested in what you guys are doing, but I mean, hey, you're right here in my backyard, you're from my city. So, I definitely got to support both sides. And we're a little torn, in the house because, my wife teaches on Arkansas side. My kids go to Texas high school. And we live on the Texas side. So, there's always that good little family feud. So, we're going to be supporting both equally as much. I want to shift the conversation really, really quick because I'm going to add something to the stream. I'm going to see if I can get this pulled up. Myself and my wife are currently on season 5 of Cobra Kai. We're huge fans of Cobra Kai. And I think we all grew up in that timeline. So, we are fans of the original Karate Kid. Of course, I know millennials now are seeing Cobra Kai now, but we remember where all that started from. I want to pull up something right quick that I saw, and it just blew my mind that you actually had
lucky dog
an opportunity. Let me see if I can get this right. Give me just a second here, because I want everyone to be able to see this. Okay, there we go. So tell me about this, man. I mean, my mind was blown. When I connected to your social on Facebook, like I said, we were in the process of watching season 5, and lo and behold, it's freaking
Nice.
Johnny Lawrence, man. What's up?
Okay, yeah, no. So this was at the Dallas Fan Expo. There's one every year. I'm actually going to they have a quote unquote smaller event that's in the Urban Convention Center. The other one's in the big Dallas Convention Center. That's where this one was. And I've been doing these things. I don't know how to. It's a very long story. I'm not going to go into because I don't think we got time. But I've been doing these things for a long time since I was in middle school. Like it all started whenever I went to one in Vegas. And then they started having them in Dallas, and then I started going to the ones in Dallas. And so I've met so many different people, seen so many different people. And, so I've kind of seen, that phrase, don't meet your heroes. It's true. It's true on some, not everybody. Him, he was awesome. He was incredible. I went up to him. I told him I was a teacher. I was like, man, I wish I could say quiet the way you do. I wish I could say quiet the way you do. He goes, no, man, you can, he goes, no, he goes, man, you can do it. It comes from your belly. You can do it. You can do it. And so he goes, so when it gets done signing, he comes around the table and he goes, here, let me show you. And then he gets like, we're touching foreheads and he yells quiet. And then the people waiting in line cheered. It was really neat. And then he had me do it, and I just butchered. I couldn't do it. I was like, I told you I can't do it, but I'm going to work on it. And yeah, he was so nice. He was such a cool guy. He was.
Man, that is awesome. So Dallas Expo, I've never had the opportunity to go to one yet. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't have the opportunity. I know that Arkansas has one in Little Rock. In fact, I think they just had one, the Arkansas Con maybe a month ago or something like that. And then I know the Green Power Ranger, Tommy has come to Excalibur a couple times. And so, I've always kind of missed it schedule wise. Of course, my lifelong dream is to actually attend the San Diego Comic-Con. We were in Los Angeles, or Anaheim rather, at Disney one year when it was going on in San Diego. But of course, it's just so hard to get tickets to that stuff because, I've waited in the room for like 2 years straight, and, people have bots and, they buy up all the tickets and the spaces. So it's just almost impossible to get in there to that. But with that being said, as we kind of wind up, I wanted to again thank both of you for coming on the Deeper Level podcast and bringing awareness of what esports is and the opportunities that are available. Again, Congratulations to you both, and just wish you much success on your program, and just want you to keep going. And I believe that my sentiments are shared by the chat and those who are in watching right now. So thank you for bringing awareness to this. Are there any final thoughts as we wrap up that you have, Coach Allen?
No, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this season, and I can't wait to see how esports grows in Texarkana, specifically in Northeast Texas. It's going to be exciting, especially when I see a lot of these young middle schoolers and even younger getting into video games in a little more serious way. I think it's here to stay. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, Coach Powers, too.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Coach Powers, any final remarks?
First, thank you so much and I think it's so awesome what you're doing. And I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback off of what he said. I'm so excited to see what happens and how it grows. I mean, the fact that he's got a class going, I hope that one day we'll have it here at Arkansas High, and just it'll start growing, and before you know it, we'll be just like any other sports team in a school.
Man, that's it. That's it. Well, there you have it, people. This is again episode 3 of The Deeper Level. I'm so grateful for my special guests, Coach Powers and Coach Allen, for coming on and talking esports with me again. Don't forget to make sure that you like and subscribe. Hit up all of my socials, which can be seen on the overlay in the top. So make sure that you stay connected. I have a really, really great surprise for everyone regarding The Deeper Level that I'm going to be announcing soon, probably over the next week. So make sure that you stay tuned and stay connected as we move forward. Again, I'm your host, Deeper Depths, and this has been The Deeper Level. We'll see you again on the next stream. Peace.